Hi everyone, I'm Caitlin and welcome back to my channel. Today we are working in the backyard. We have 3 aquapots that we are going to plant up, 2 of which being right behind me, right near the Buddha fountain. We are going to kind of refresh these, take out these giant sun patiens and kind of place them around the yard a little bit strategically so that we have that color in some other places. And then we're going to plant up the pot that's over by the French doors with entirely new plants. So let's get started. Alrighty, so our first container is right here. You can see the plants that we're going to use already sitting in this container. Let's get it planted up. We have these gorgeous kind of pom-pom double white begonias with kind of a bronzy leaf. We've got some Proven Winners Caladiums here. This is the Heart to Heart White Wonder. Really, really pretty. We've got back here is a silver Lady Fern, and then we have a white giant bird of paradise. There's also a fiber optic grass from Proven Winners that we're going to throw in here. And I think that is it. So let's get this planted. I'll throw all of the kind of dimensions of everything on the screen as I plant each one. the two containers behind me. We are going to take out the pink sun patient, and like I said, we're going to move them around the yard so that they're in a space that is probably on the opposite side of the yard, so we can bring some of that color that is on the ground over here over to that area, making everything more cohesive. I'm going to keep the purple sun patient in there, and then what we'll add is I have 2 per container of the Super Bells. This is Dreamsicle. It's this really pretty orangey pink mixed color that looks really tropical and pretty. These get about 6 to 12 inches tall, and they spread out pretty good, somewhere in the neighborhood of probably 24 or so at least inches wide. And we'll have 2 of these in those containers. I started off with 4-inch plants in these containers for the sun patients, and you can see that the compact sun patient, which is the purple, is, you know, about this wide, which is probably 18, 24 inches wide. And the non-compact is crazy large. So these will get plenty of water, plenty of fertilizer. They'll be really happy. 2 of those per. 1 of the Diamond Frost Euphorbia per container. As you can see, we have some along the bottom of the Buddha fountain here, and then there is some that is growing up into the Mandevilla vine as well. I don't think that it's Diamond Frost specifically. It might be Diamond Mountain or some other similar euphorbia that's a non-Proven Winners type, but it's growing up into there, so just kind of bringing that interest in a more cohesive fashion. 1 per container again on those. And then we've got the Dichondra Silver Falls, and we'll do 1 per container of that. So let's get these planted. Alrighty, so here is a look at one of the containers. This one looks best so far because this compact purple is a much happier plant. But I love the color combo. This is gonna look so nice when this fern grows up. It'll get to probably about here-ish. It'll get relatively wide. It'll be our nice chartreuse color. Then we have our blue in the Dichondra Silver Falls, and then kind of our more red purple tone here. And then our diamond frost is going to kind of just fill in and intermix with all of this. At least that's the way I'm going to train it to do. And then it'll kind of be like our little whimsical element of this container. But I love the color combo. I love how it matches in with what we've got going down here. And we've got the orange of the Sedona Sunset. All of these need to still be planted. This Sun Patient needs to be planted still, but I think it's gonna look super nice. And then this one, like I said, is looking a little bit wimpy. I'm gonna cut back a lot of this compact lavender, compact purple, whatever it is, Sun Patient. And then obviously this frond is kind of messing over here, but we'll kind of mess with everything and just get it all settled in nicely, and it'll look really good. And then I just rewrapped the drip irrigation around the fern and the Sun Patient, and then all of this will get, you know, some of the water, but those two need the most water of everything. So there you go. There's a little bit of a look at what they what they look like now, and hopefully you can kind of envision what they're going to look like in a few months when everything's a little bit more grown up. And here is our other container. I definitely need to kind of clean up this area still, and we'll plant up this area. I'm thinking I might put lemon coral sedum in here. Might be kind of a nice look with that. I don't know, last year we had coleus and it kind of covered up this container a bit, so I don't really want to put that in there. But these are some gorgeous begonias. Again, love having the Dichondra Silver Falls in there for the blue color. Caladiums, another silver Lady Fern, and our giant white bird of paradise. And then this is the fiber optic grass. It's looking a little sad right now. It's gotten too much water, so you can see some of the browning on it, but that'll go away and it'll kind of just spill over like that. And it looks really pretty and full already. Again, that fern is gonna get nice and sizable. It, in the landscape, does about 3x3 to 4x4, but I'm anticipating probably, you know, 2x2, maybe 3x3 in this container. So it'll get nice and big and look really, really pretty. Alrighty, so that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching me plant up these two containers. Can't wait for them to fill in the rest of the season, and they should carry us over into fall, into winter, into spring, hopefully into next summer with minimal redo. And that is what I like about all of these containers, and what I'm trying to do in the yard is make it to where there's minimal annual planting, and a lot of foliage, but still some, you know, pretty color. So yeah, the only thing about this container specifically that we might have to kind of be particular about are the caladiums. As well as the caladiums that we've done in the front yard pots, it's probably best that I dig these up right before we get kind of a low temperature. Similar time frame to when we will dig up our coleus and save those, but I'm going to save these corms inside that way, and probably just keep the whole plant under grow lights. That way we can keep them nice and don't risk any sort of frost potentially taking them. So with all of that, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.